All right, good evening. We're going to go on E, reconvene to open session. F, announcement of actions taken in closed session. Mr. Jimenez.
Thank you, President Alvarado. So in closed session by a vote of 4-0, with Mr. Lencho Calderon being absent today, the board took action to approve Mr. Andy Badulo as our interim principal at Blanche Charles Elementary School. Andy, congratulations. We're looking forward to working with you, and thank you so much for helping us through this interim and while we find our principal. Thank you for coming over. Which do you want to say a few words for him?
Thank you for letting me serve the students.
Come to the podium, Andy. Yeah.
Thank you for that, Mr. Morley.
I'll tell you right now.
Hello. Yeah, thank you for letting me serve the community and students in a different way, and looking forward to it, definitely. Thank you very much. All the support at Blanche Charles has been outstanding. The other principals around the district they've been really helpful, so thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Badulo. And that was a motion by Mr. Carlos Contreras and seconded by Mr. Enrique Alvarado. And again, it passed 4-0. We also had another appointment approved tonight by a vote of 4-0. This one was a motion by Mr. Enrique Alvarado and seconded by Mr. Carlos Contreras, passed 4-0, for the appointment of Ms. Vanessa Castañeda as our new business manager. So congratulations to her as well.
Thank you for that, Mr. Jimenez. And once again, thank you so much, Mr. Lugo. G, presentations. 1, early literacy support block.
Thank you so much. At this point, I'd like to ask Ms. Luisa Fuller, our principal at Rockwood Elementary School. I was just over there earlier today, walking around her campus. We're through our early literacy support grant, we are required to give a board presentation and a board presentation to the community. So Ms. Fuller is going to give us a brief presentation on this program.
Good evening, Superintendent Jimenez, members of the board, and esteemed guests. My name is Luisa Fuller, and I am the principal at Rockwood Elementary. I am here today to give you an update on the Early Literacy Support Block Grant for the 2022-23 school year. It's on. Oh, here we go. Oops, sorry. This Early Literacy Support Grant was enacted to support schools in California with the lowest scores in 3rd grade in English language arts. Rockwood was selected to participate in this grant based on our 3rd grade test scores in language arts on CASP during the 18-19 school years. The Early Literacy Support Grant work began during the pandemic year. A team consisting of teachers, representatives in grades kinder, 1st, and 3rd, academic support teacher, our ELIT learner intervention, English learner intervention teacher, representatives from Ed Services, myself, met and worked with Sacramento County Office of Education to develop a needs assessment and to create goals to improve student outcomes in reading when taking the Smarter Balance assessment for the first time in 3rd grade. So these are the goals that we worked on and developed during that planning time. Goal 1 was to improve our knowledge and skill while implementing an explicit systematic foundational skills program with fidelity to address Tier 1 literacy instruction in grades TK through 3rd. We also developed a second goal, which was to improve our TK through 3rd grade students' language development skills by creating system changes around Principle 1, which is assets-oriented and needs-responsive school, and Principle 2, intellectual quality of instruction and meaningful access of the EL roadmap to address TK through 3rd learning environments conducive for learning for English learners. So these are some of the actions completed during the 22-23 school year. To meet Goal 1 and Goal 2 of the Early Literacy Support Block Grant. Our teachers, TK through third grade teachers, and some in the upper grade, but our teachers in the participating grades, our English learner intervention teacher, our academic support teacher, our literacy resource teacher, and myself completed our science of reading course. We also, during the school year, hired our literacy resource teacher, who was responsible for professional development, coaching, PDSA cycles, lesson studies, data collection, data chats, etc., anything to do with the grant. We provided SIPS professional development for our TK through third grade teachers, our AST, and our literacy resource teacher. The trainer was able to, during that PD, was able to model lessons with students in multiple grades so the teachers could visualize the implementation of the program. Follow-up walkthroughs took place to make sure that the program was implemented with fidelity, an important component of goal number 1. And then, of course, was our full SIPS implementation during the school year. We also had our PDSA cycles for our kinder, first, second, and third grade teams as we partnered up with our Orenda partners this year. And participating grades also worked on lesson studies with their grade level teams. We partnered with ICOE to provide our teachers training on the the EL roadmap for Principle 1 and Principle 2. We also incorporated some SEL training for our staff and for our students. And we implemented quiet corners in all of our classrooms to provide students with a safe space and some strategies that they could learn to self-regulate their emotions and behaviors. So SIPS is a program that was highly recommended in the work that we did for our needs assessment and to develop our goals. And by lots of the schools that were also participating in this grant. And it encompassed everything that we needed in a foundational skills program, a structured literacy approach to instruction through explicit routines focused on phonological awareness, spelling sounds, and sight words. Here's the phonics continuum for SIPS. Teachers administer a placement test to determine lessons the students need to start the program. The prerequisite for beginning the program is that students need to know at least 24 of the 26 letters of the alphabet. Students were grouped based on this data, and our SIPS journey began. Students at Rockwood were either in the beginning or the extension program in SIPS, like I said, based on their grade level. So during the 22-23 school year, students at Rockwood were placed, like I said, in the beginning or extension level. And the program, we're using it during our RTI time with small groups of students. And lessons are split up into 2 days. So students are working on 2 lessons per week, and they get to review on Fridays. We also were able to hire AmeriCorps aides. We had 3 wonderful AmeriCorps aides last year, and we also had 3 instructional aides that were onboarded at Rockwood, and they were also trained and assigned to the specific classrooms that were focusing on SIPS during RTI. So how did our students do after using this program during RTI? So here's some information that was gathered by Ms. Rodriguez, our LR team. So when we started, we had around 66 students. Once they did their placement test, that didn't know all of their alphabet. So we had to intervene. We called this group the letters group. And we worked on making sure that they were able to achieve that goal, so that we could place them, give them another test, and place them in the appropriate level for SIPS. During the school year, our first graders that participated in the program, 79% of them, we saw that they were able to move between 2 and 3 sub-levels, begin the beginning level. With progress monitoring scores showing gains in letter sound recognition, correspondence, blending, segmenting, decoding, and sight word recognition. Our second graders, 21% of them moved either 3 sublevels, 47% of them moved 4 or 5 sublevels, and 9% moved over 8 sublevels with progress monitoring scores showing significant gains in letter sound correspondence, phonics, decoding, and sight word accuracy. And for our third graders, 10% of our third graders that participated in the program moved 2 or 3 sublevels, 48 moved 4 or 5 sublevels, and 8% moved 7 sublevels with progress monitoring scores showing significant gains in phonics, decoding, sight word automaticity, and fluency. Progress monitoring, I wanted to note, it takes place like every 10th lesson, so teachers are constantly checking for mastery. Here's some additional student reading supports that we have for all of our students at Rockwood Elementary. We have a daily DEAR time, which is drop everything and read. And this is something that we started a few years back. And we encourage the students to have a physical book of their choice and to read. And of course, if I'm in the classroom, I'm reading as well. Teachers are reading because we want to foster that love of reading for our students. Of course, we also provide them access to their educational applications, their iReady Reading, Lexia English. They have access to the school library during recess time, lunchtime, after school, and during the school day. Classrooms have leveled classroom libraries with fiction and nonfiction books. We have worked with Ms. Ramirez, our district librarian, our library text, and our counselor to organize read-alouds for our students. And we've been doing these for the last couple of years. And you know, they do such a wonderful job in engaging our students using visuals and props and even performers. We had a performer last year during one of our read-alouds. We also had our book fair, you know, to give the students an opportunity to view and purchase books with their families. We provide the students with, or they have access to Epic. And then also, of course, we share all of the activities that are taking place at our public library. It's such an amazing resource for our community and for our students. And of course, you know, every month we share what activities are taking place so that they can participate in those activities after school. So we've done all this work with our students. How did our students do in their end of year assessments? Here's a breakdown of our iReady reading scores beginning of the year compared to end of year for our participating grade levels. So we look at our mid or above grade level or early on grade level scores. That's usually the green area. We want to see the majority of our students in green, right? So if you compare our beginning of the year to end of year, you can see that in kinder we had at the beginning of the year only 4% of the students at mid or above or early on, and that increased to 45%. So our kinder students did a really great job on iReady during last school year. First grade, we started at 2% at the beginning of the year and ended up at 19% with students mid or above grade level or early on grade level. In second grade, we went from 6% to 21%, mid or above grade level and early on grade level. And our third graders improved from 7% to 19%, mid or above or an early on grade level. Also, let me go back to this slide. I want to point out that if you notice for our third graders, the students that were 3 or more grade levels below compared to comparing the beginning of the year to end of year, those numbers are also reducing. So the students are moving, you know, in the right direction. Next, we have our TEL data. TEL is an assessment that the students, our English learners, take 3 times a year. Here is our beginning of the year data and our end of year data. For this data set, we look at our advanced and high students, right? To gauge to see how our students are going to do on LPAC. Overall, at the beginning of the year, in kinder and first grade, we didn't have any students in either advanced or in the high level. But compared to the end of year data, in kinder, students, we were able to see 16% of our students scoring high. First grade was 5% scoring high, so that also improved. Second grade improved from 3% to 21%. I'm sorry, 24%, because they had 3% of our students also scoring advanced. And in third grade, we improved from 3 to 10% in advanced and high. And if you notice, our students in the limited, the ones that scored the lowest, we also saw a reduction in those numbers. So students are definitely moving in the right direction. Sorry. Let me go back. Okay. Next, we have our LPAC scores. This is the state summative assessment that our students take. Here we have how many students scored in overall level 4. As we know, our students need to score in overall level 4 in order to be able to reclassify, as long as, you know, they meet the rest of their criteria. And during the 21-22 school year, we only had 3 students in third grade scoring in overall level 4. Compared to this year, for the participating grades in the grant, we had 5 students in kinder get an overall level 4. We had 2 students in second grade getting an overall level 4. And in third grade, we had 7 students getting an overall level 4. So overall, we saw an increase in the number of students that received a level 4 all across the grade levels at Rockwood Elementary. And lastly, here is our SBAC data for English Language Arts. Third graders are the first grade that takes the test. Last year, for our SBAC data, the first year after coming back from the pandemic, we only had 7% of our students meeting or exceeding the standards. And this year, our third graders doubled almost that amount to 15% meeting or exceeding the standards in ELA. So for the Early Literacy Support Block Grant Year 3, we are going to continue working and implementing with SIPs. We are going to focus on Goal 2 and support our English learners by using language for learning during ELD. We will continue our PDSA cycles with Orenda, and of course, we'll continue with incorporating SEL in our calming corners in our classrooms to support our students. And we also want to have our literacy nights to involve our parents and talk to them about different things that they could do at home as well with their students to support that we're doing in school during the school day. So overall, many of the students that participated in these grades showed improvements in the area of reading during the school year, but we know that we have a lot more work to do. You know, I see it as a marathon. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint, and it's going to take us time to get more of our students meeting or exceeding the standards when they take their test in third grade. Like I said, I think we're on track for sustained continuous improvement in the years to come, and the sky is the limit. So I want to thank our Rockwood teachers, our coaches, our support staff for the amazing work that they do and with our Rockwood kiddos. I've included some additional links for your reference. Our annual report, our action plan template that we worked on and developed, and basic grant information. Does anybody have any questions?
No, I just want to say thank you for that presentation. It really shows us exactly how our students are, you know, advancing, you know, as far as their goal on their grade levels also as well. I mean, there was huge improvements that we saw.
Yes.
So I'm very thankful for that. Thank you.
You know, 75% of our staff, our kids, did not meet SBAC or
Yes.
were not. And the ones that did, we had, I guess 10 kids nearly meet.
Mm-hmm.
So we have 85 students that were not close by or still need a lot of work.
Yes.
So we're implementing this. We've got several things going on. You're using a lot of TEL, and you've got
Hotel is the assessment, right?
and then
Yes.
you've got Orenda, and then you're going to use the new one that we're going to doing right now, the adding, Ms. Ramirez, what are we adding to the third graders?
The teachers are working on background mapping for curriculum in ELA and math.
You know, we're just using a lot of stuff.
Gonna come up.
Okay, it's, I'm seeing the jar half empty, not half full. That's what I'm seeing.
Thank you, Mrs. Fuller.
Yes, thank you.
And you know what, just to comment on that real quick, Ms.
Yes.
Fuller, I know the previous presentation that we had, those young ladies that came and gave the presentation said we're gonna see just, first year is gonna be a certain little jump, but it's in year 3 where we're actually gonna see the biggest jumps. So that's why I'm a little bit excited. I mean, just seeing that little jump is a big
Yes.
improvement compared to where they were at the beginning of the year to where they're at now.
Yes.
I mean, we can't say, you know what, get 100%, but I mean, I think at the year 3, if this is what we're seeing right now, I think year 3 is going to be even that much more.
I agree. Thank you so much.
And if
Thank
I
you.
could,
it also shows that, it represents the true data. Yeah. Right? There isn't anything trying to be hidden in there. We know the type of progress that we're looking for, and yes, we want more, correct, on the positive note, but I think it's like you said, it is a marathon.
and if I could add, board members as well, is I think that there's also an acknowledgement or recognition of our student achievement rates, and there is a concerted effort to improve those. We're trying. We're not sitting on our hands. We're not, sitting idly by. Just okay. Well, it is what it is, or making excuses for that. I want to give a lot of credit to our teachers, our principals, all of our support staff, who are really genuinely wanting to show higher student improvement rates. What I know, one of our district folks who spends a lot of time with data and looking at the data as well, and is Ms. Brisa, and regarding literacy as well. I know she could make a brief comment about where we're at right now, but still where we need to go.
Thank you for that. Brisa Huerta, the Price Director of State and Federal Projects. So just a little reminder that the focus of this grant is in TK through third grade. And so this is the second year of implementation, keeping in mind that the first year of implementation really was during the pandemic. And so it was really hard to put more things on the teachers. And so the real work really started this school year. It was really, the teachers have, I have to commend the not just TK through third grade teachers, but all the teachers at the school, because they've made a concerted effort to change their teaching practices, that tier 1 instruction. I think Rockwood is the school with the most teachers, especially in TK through third, that signed up for the letters training. And in addition to doing that during last school year, they participated in the OERA, which is the Online Elementary Reading Academy. And so they are really strengthening their knowledge about how to teach reading, that science of reading, and they're changing their instructional practices. They're doing those PDSA cycles, those Plan, Do, Study, Act, where they, with the benchmark assessments and the lens of we have to improve every kid, their literacy. They're looking at those assessments. They're really saying, okay, we know that science says that this works for our students, and so we're seeing progress. The thing is, you're not going to see it on the SBAC scores until 2 or 3 years from now, because we're starting with those kindergarteners, first graders, second graders, and this is really the first year of third graders that are testing with at the end of the first year really of implementation because of the issue. So again, this is a 3-year grant. The school got about $993,000 over 3 years for these very targeted interventions, and they will be visiting September 11th to see the progress and to really get to know, and then they're replicating those practices. We're getting a lot of support from Sacramento County Office of Education. We're here to support the work at Rockwood, but really it's the teachers and the principal and the literacy specialists and the ASTs that are doing a lot of work at the site for these we're going to see a lot of intentional improvements over the next couple of years.
Thank you, Brisa.
Thank
you, Ms. Fuller.
Thank you.
Number 2, construction delivery method presentation.
Yes, I'd like to ask our legal counsel, Ms. Karina Samaniago, who's going to give a brief presentation on our upcoming construction projects and our delivery method for those.
Thank you, Superintendent Jimenez. Good evening, trustees. Good evening, Superintendent Jimenez. I'm not Samuel Santana. I am Karina Samaniega, but I am taking his place. For tonight's presentation, just a brief overview on a popular method of construction delivery method that the district has been implementing thus far. And I'm here to present to you some of the advantages for proceeding with the lease-leaseback construction delivery method for your construction projects moving forward. Okay, so just want to start out with the general, the legal position that for any construction project over a certain price amount, those have to be bid out. So generally, it is $15,000 construction projects do have to be bid out, but for those certain school districts who adopt an elevated accounting method, which is called, we call it CUPCA, but it stands for California Uniform Public Construction Cost Accounting Act. So it has a little bit more rigid structure in accounting processes for your construction projects. And with those rigid processes, it allows the district with a little bit more flexibility in going for a higher bid threshold. So for any construction project which is below 60,000, so it's not 15,000, it's 60,000, those do not have to be formally bid out. But then there is a kind of a mini informal bidding process for those construction projects between 60,000 and 200,000, and then the regular formal bid process is $200,000. That's the limit for this school district because it has adopted the CUPCA method and not the 15,000. So with this knowledge, baseline knowledge, knowing that any construction project over $200,000 has to be bid out, what does that mean? So typically it means design, bid, build. The school district with its team, you'll design the project, you go out to bid it, and then the contractor who won the lowest bid will build it. I'm here to present to you also a lease-leaseback method, which is an alternative method. It bypasses the bidding process, but it has very rigid statutory procedures in place, which is why it allows you to bypass the bid process. So when we have the design, bid, build, which is the lowest bid construction delivery method, the yellow boxes, that's the district team. The district, you have your CM, construction manager, and your architect. You develop the design for your project up front. Once that's designed, you go out to bid, and in the bid process, the district will be selecting only the lowest responsive bid. So you're looking at nothing else except the price, and then the red is the building team and the general contractor and its subcontractors will be building the project based on the design that the district designed early on with its own team. So it is widely applicable, meaning it can apply to a variety of construction projects. Once completed, so the design package is issued to all the general contractors, and they prepare the bid based on the design that the district and the architect created together. And only the contractor who submitted the lowest and responsive bid is selected. So nothing else is taken into consideration. And the architect, still being on the, on the district side, on the district team, has limited oversight of the work, and they will help the contractors with answering any questions regarding design. So some pros to the typical design, bid, build. It is a competitive bidding process, so you will always receive upfront the lowest bid. It's easy to manage because you have already designed the project with your architect, and the project is already defined prior to it being issued to the public. So some of the cons, on the other hand, the contractors are able to take advantage of this competitive process. So they will issue a low bid, but then if you go down to the last bullet point, delay claims and disputes are common because this is where the contractors will question the design documents that the district issued, and there are a lot of change orders. That's the third bullet point. Change orders are common, and the district has full exposure to all the change orders. And because the design is already upfront before the issuance of the bid, the second bullet point, the project design will suffer from lack of input from the contractors. So the folks who are actually building the project, they don't have a lot of say into, well, this will not work maybe because of blank, or we don't have the materials right now because of blank. So those are the cons. However, if you are not going with a typical formal bidding process, there is a statutory process called the lease-leaseback. So in the lease-leaseback process, the statute lays out a very rigid structure where the district will be leasing the property to a developer, and as a tenant on the project, the developer is going to be building the construction project, and then at the end of the construction project, it'll get leased back to the district. So it's a financing scheme that was developed by the legislature to make sure that there are some accounting practices and rigid procedures in place in order for the district to have a little bit more flexibility. So let's look at some of the flexibility here. Again, all the requirements are in the education code. It is a competitive selection process. So what that means is when you issue an RFP under the lease-leaseback statute procedure, you're looking at best value. So the district staff will be creating its own criteria and looking for the best combination of price and any other criteria that it will find is necessary for this project. So it's looking for the best value in general, in addition to the price, so not just the price. And this, of course, also allows the contractor that's selected to be part of the process. So the clear criteria provide for a strong basis for an equitable and transparent contractor selection process. So all the statutes are in place, the contractor comes on board, and then already the contractor is on the district team. So going into the pros, this is what I just mentioned, the pre-construction services, it's already part of the agreement. The contractor is working with the district, and all these plans, you're collaborating with your design team up front. And then it's submitted to the state architect for approval. So both the design phase cost estimates and the final guarantee maximum price, all the costs that could potentially be part of the project are included in this price. And that is because of the pre-construction services that the contractor is already part of the district team at the very beginning of the project. So owner and contractor will work together and negotiate the guarantee maximum price for construction of the project. But on the other hand, the con is, so anecdotally, it is thought to be more expensive, and it appears to be more expensive because all of the costs that the contractor has already anticipated and discussed and developed with the district, it's already in the construction documents. So in the end, though, although the price may appear high, you're not going through the dispute process. You're not having change orders. We're not having to come back to the board to seek approval for change orders because everything has been negotiated up front. And so it's a very collaborative process. So this is, oh yeah, that's not me again, that's Sam. So this is the, that's the one con that it's, I think, superficially is what is talked about in the public, but in the end, this is a very good option for the district moving forward for its future construction projects.
Thank you for that, Ms. Diego.
Thank you.
H, comments from the public. The board will take any and all comments from the public related to an item on the agenda or any other item of district business that is not on the agenda. No public comments. I, consent agenda. All items appearing will be acted upon by one motion without discussion unless any item is pulled for separate consideration and action.
So move.
Motion by Ms. Magallanes, and I'll do a second. No discussion, so motion by Ms. Magallanes, seconded by myself. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes 4-0. J, information item, superintendent's report.
Thank you, President Alvarado. Well, I want to welcome back everyone to a new school year, our 23-24 school year. I'm very, very excited for this school year. I see lots of really, truly great things happening. Our staff has been hard at work to prepare and get things ready. We do have a lot of challenges, especially at the high school. It's a humongous task that we have embarked in to, for all intents and purposes, almost build a brand new high school, which is going to be a beautiful state-of-the-art high school. The buildings are going to be incredible, and our kids are going to benefit for many, many generations to come. But for right now, going through this construction project at the high school while trying to maintain normal operations, it makes me nervous. It makes me nervous. We are on track with all of our construction timelines. Our interim housing is completed. We're doing some last minute punch list items here and there. We're finding out that maybe this electrical socket, we gotta, activate it because, so we're finding little things like that, but that's part of our punch list. Our raw removal is being completed. All of the raw that had to be addressed has been addressed. Everything's passed. We're ready to go with that. And I want to give some acknowledgement and recognition to the Calexico High School staff for understanding that it's not going to be perfect, and it's not going to be, business as usual or normal operating procedures, because they're not coming back to, the buildings and the offices that they have been coming to for the past decades, right? In some cases, they're coming back to a bungalow, and that's not easy, and I understand it. We're working hard. I want to commend Danny because we're out there almost every day. Romel, we got a team of folks at the Calexico High School trying to support and make sure that we have everything we need to have for August 21, our first day of school. So I ask our folks for patience and understanding. We will make it work. It's not going to be perfect, but things are going to work out, and we just got to keep our eye on the ball. And that is when we finish this beautiful high school that our community has supported. It's going to be incredible, and it's going to be well worth the sacrifice and well worth the wait for us to have gotten this. So thank you to everyone. Thank you for everyone for who has worked throughout the summer. There's summer, there's a period, there's a break there, but for a lot of folks that are 11 and 12-month employees, there might be a few vacation days here and there, but they're still on the clock. They're still here. They're working. With the fiscal year and in a school system, when we end one year, we are simultaneously opening another year, and it's happening at the same time. We're still closing out our books and closing out our budget, doing our final calculations. We're still doing student records and, a lot of things that, to finish off one school year, but at the exact same time, we're doing work to open the next school year. And that's no easy feat. That is not an easy task for anyone to complete. So I want to thank all of our staff, our Educational Services Department with Ms. Elisa Ramirez and all her team, Gabby Flores and Celia and Karina, and I know I'm missing people out there, Brisa and Esmeralda and Alex, and has just been working really, really hard with all of our preparing for our back to school staff meetings and PD meetings, and so I want to thank everyone for all of their hard work. And last but not least, our classified employees, our maintenance workers, our groundskeepers, our HVAC techs, our custodians who, we're in the valley, and being outdoors during the summer poses its own challenges. But they've been out here. I've seen them with my own eyes. I've been out there visiting schools, checking on the progress of different things that we're working on. And they've been working really, really hard. Our folks here at the district office, our secretaries in business services and educational services, in our personnel commissioner's office, in IT and English learners department, the curriculum department, have been working straight through the summer to ensure the best start of a new school year. So I'm very, very excited. I can't wait to see all of our teachers and our students and our parents on the 21st. I would like to share that for our staff and folks who are listening out there, on August 15th is our certificated teacher check-in day. On August 16th, we have site professional development day for certificated staff from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. And from 1:15 to 3:15, our associations, ACT and CACA, will be conducting their annual association meetings. So we thank them for their partnership as well. On August 17th, we have a district curriculum day 1 for all certificated staff. On August 18th, we have the district curriculum day 2 for all certificated staff and classified staff from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. And then from that was going to be followed from our district-wide Calexico Unified School District Welcome Back event at Varner Gym, where we're going to have all 1,100, 1,200 CUSD employees attend a Welcome Back event on that day, to which we extend our invitation and our welcomes to our board members. If you're able to, hopefully you could attend so we could all participate in our Welcome Back message and kick-off celebration. So that would be on August 18th from 1 to 3 at Varner Gym, and I could send more information to our board members as well. And then, of course, August 21st is our first day of class. I'm excited. I can't wait, and let's make it a great year. We could do it, and I'm very much looking forward to it. Thank you, President Alvarado.
Thank you for that report, Mr. Jimenez. 2, Safety Committee.
Yes, we have a very brief presentation today from our new SRO, Ms. Vega, who's going to present some information to our board and our community here tonight. So, Ms. Vega, thank you so much for being here.
Good evening, board, staff, and community. My name is Miriam Vega, and I've been with the Calexico Police Department for 5 years. I'm currently assigned as the School Resource Officer, and I am preparing to work with staff, students, and parents. I will provide training on safety, provide positive school climates, drug trends, and other areas to help our community. This month, we will be focusing on the following: tactical training. I would like to tell you guys about the recent active shooter training that Calexico police officers, in conjunction with the El Centro SWAT officers, received. The training took place at the Calexico High School and was hosted by TAC 11. TAC 11 is a private company that focuses on and studies past active shooter events. The training was with the intent to sharpen police officers' skills and expose them to a real-life event. We plan to follow the ALICE protocol, practice drills, and training school staff such as proctors and principals. Our goal is to prevent tragedies like the ones we've seen on the news. Learning from past incidents can save lives today. Scheduled training. Sites administration, school staff were provided with training by the district nurse on Narcan, EpiPens, and standard response protocol. Do you guys know what Narcan is? Yes, everybody. Crossing guards. The crossing guards will be provided with training at the Calexico Police Department by the Traffic Division on August 15, 2023. Campus security. All campus security personnel will attend a training on August 18, 2023. The focus will be on expectations, Narcan training, and concerns. On February, August 11, all school sites will be will have a reunification box containing information for students, staff, and parents regarding the standard response protocol and site reunification materials. Catapult EMS. We are in the process of updating the system and working with each site to make sure that any issues are resolved. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for that report, Mr. Vega. Number 3, Insurance Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Guerrero.
Well, good evening, everybody. Good evening, President Alvarado, Superintendent Mr. Jimenez, Board of Trustees, and members of the public. Just want to remind everybody, all of our certificated employees and management, that open enrollment window is open. So please sign up. If you need to make changes, look for the emails that we sent out, and with all the information that you need to make the right insurance choices for you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you. 4, 23-24, 45-day budget update.
Thank you. Ms. Baez?
Good evening. Good evening, President Alvarado, Board of Trustees, Superintendent Mr. Jimenez, and everyone joining us tonight. My name is Maribel Paez, and I'm the Assistant Superintendent of Business Services. And tonight I'll be presenting the 2023-2024 45-day budget informational update. So school districts are required to disclose any changes, revisions within 45 days after the governor actually signs our budget. Governor Newsom signed our budget on June 27, so we actually had to disclose any changes before August 11th. So there were no major changes due between the May revised and the enacted state budget. The state is still actually move forward with included the 8.22% of COLA increase to our local control funding formula. So we still continue with the 8.22 for 23-24. There were no major changes done also to any statutory benefits or callsters or CalPERS, unemployment insurance rates. They were all included in the budget as well. There were only a few changes to the budget from May revised and enacted budget, which I'm going to be talking about those tonight. One of the changes that were included on the enacted budget is the LCFF equity multiplier, and the estimate for that amount is the 1.6 million, and this is to be used for evidence-based services and support for students. And we do have 5 of our schools that qualify for this grant, so we'll be receiving this month the 1.6. In addition to that, we also the enacted budget included a Proposition 28. The estimate funding is about 1.5, and this is to be used for arts education. And one of the requirements is the 80% of these funds is to actually employ staff for the arts education. Other changes that were included in the enacted budget is a slight changes increase to lottery rates and other state priorities as well. And there was also 2 cuts to the one-time block grants that were allocated for 22-23, which is for the art and music instructional material. It was a cut of 278,000. And then for learning recovery emergency block grant, it was about 2.3 million reduction on that grant. So in total, if you add, the increases from enacted budget to actually the cuts on the one-time block grants is about 635 right now. And those are basically the only changes right now. We're working very close with our auditors. We're working very close with Imperial County Office of Education in closing our books. Right now we're working on all those final journal entries, all that inventory, all those asset forms, everything that we have to take in consideration for closing. We have a couple of weeks only to close our books and then present final numbers with all the budget revisions on our September board meeting. So any questions?
Any questions, board members?
No.
Thank you.
Thank you.
5, board reports. These are informational reports by board members. No action is taken. Mr. Contreras?
Just, summer went by so quick. It just seems that we're just hanging by for a little while, then all of a sudden all this changes and
principals and all kinds of stuff came through. So, you know, just ready for the new year and just welcome all staff. Thank you for that. Mr. Pacheco?
Yeah, ditto, welcome back. It's start of a new fresh year, so we see what the heat and the new year bring. Hopefully all our ACs will be working and we won't have kids looking for shade, but we're ready for a brand new year.
Thank you for that, Mr. Pacheco. Ms. Magallanes?
I'm absolutely delighted to share that we receive a glowing amount of positive feedback about our summer programs. I want to share my gratitude to all the staff members involved. Your solid dedication has truly made a significant impact. Attending the Innovative School Summit emphasized the crucial importance of addressing learning gaps, implementing strategies for social-emotional learning, and cultivating a nurturing disciplinary environment. I'm thrilled to report that our district staff is firmly on course with these fundamental principles. This summer, during my visit to Calexico High School construction site, I was struck by the meticulous precautions being taken to ensure a seamless start to the upcoming school year. These efforts are assuring that our children's education continues without interruption. To each and every one of you, thank you. Thank you for your extraordinary work. And finally, wishing everyone for a school year ahead that goes smoothly and becomes a remarkable success.
Thank you for that report, Ms. Magallanes. As for myself, I just want to welcome everyone back and to our new school year, the 23-24 school year. I think there's going to be a lot of learning curves that we're going to learn from this, especially at the high school with all the moving parts that are going to be there, because it's something that's, you know, that we're taking, you know, an enormous step as far as renovating everything there at the high school. It's been there for, I want to say, I think over 100 years, correct? And now we're taking this turn where everything's going to change. It's not going to happen overnight, but with everybody's help, I think everything should be seamless and work great. Another thing that Officer Vega touched on was that training that was that they did at the high school. Got a lot of positive feedback. Our Central PD was there present. So was our Calexico police officers. And it's something that I think we should keep ongoing with our officers and including some of our federal agencies also as well. And it's something that I've discussed with Mr. Jimenez is trying to reach out to probation to see if we get a probation officer assigned here to the high school also as well. Even if it's not on a full-time basis, but having an officer local, that way they could go ahead and, you know, conduct those checks also with whoever it is, with our high school students or even being with ICOE students. On that note, I also want to thank Burlington Factory for their donation of $5,000 to Maine's Elementary School District. As you all are aware, Burlington Factory is going to be opening up a store here at the outlets, and they took the time and made that donation of $5,000, which includes, I think it's materials, correct? Backpacks, everything that the students need, and Maine's was lucky school that got that donation for them. Other than that, I just want to thank everyone, thank all our staff, certificated and classified, for all your time, efforts. Hope you guys enjoyed the summer. Mr. Jimenez, thank you so much for everything that you've done for this district so far. And like I said, I see nothing but a bright future ahead of us. With that said, let's go ahead and start this meeting. K, action items, consideration and action approval of the following items. 1, agreement between Calexico Unified School District and Mesa Small Engine Repair for on-call repairs for maintenance and operations equipment.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Pacheco, second by Mr. Contreras. All those in favor, please state aye.
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 Motion passes 4-0. 2, agreement between Calexico Unified School District and AMPAC to provide tutoring services to students enrolled at 6 elementary schools for the 23-24 school year. I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Second by Mr. Contreras. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. 3, agreement between Calexico Unified School District and KYA Services LLC for replacement of wall pads at Calexico High School 9th grade campus, Tesada Gym. Motion by Mr. Contreras, seconded by myself. All those in favor, please state aye.
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 Aye. Motion passes 4-0. 4, agreement between Calexico Unified School District and CDR Electrical Incorporated to electrically rewire buildings 21 through 24, 31, and Teachers Lounge at Dual Elementary School. Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Second by Mr. Pacheco. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. 5, agreement between Calexico Unified School District and Regan Roofing to Regan Roofing for roof repairs at Calexico High School 9th grade Tesada Gym.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Contreras, second by Mr. Pacheco. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. 6, agreement between Calexico Unified School District and Top Youth Speakers for keynote speaker at the Welcome Back Staff Event on August 18, 2023. So moved.
Second.
Second by Mr. Pacheco. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. 7, agreement between Calexico Unified School District and Expanded Learning Program and Unwind and Design Creative Studio to provide 160 acrylic painting lessons for the after-school program at all elementary and junior high schools during Sparks Camp in the 23-24 school year.
So move with the question.
Okay, motion by Ms. Maganis, and I'll second that. Go ahead, Ms. Maganis.
My question is, I see there's two, the same company 2 times, and I wanted to get information from Mrs. Garcia.
Sure. Ms. Garcia, you could explain a little bit more detail. One is for the after-school program, and this one's for the camp. So that's why it's up here twice. It gets paid differently, but Ms. Garcia will do a better job at explaining it than me.
I've been to this program at a school. I think it's great. I think it's awesome. But I see 2 different amounts, and I want a little more information on that.
Absolutely. Good evening, board. Good evening, fellow colleagues, members of the public. Esmeralda Garcia, Director of Expanded Learning. We are bringing 2 different contracts, one for camp and one for the after-school program. So the difference in the contracts is, like Mr. Jimenez said, these are 2 different programs. Our 9-hour days are our camp days that are mandated by our ELO grant. And the ACES part is the after-school, is the daily, every day. So we're trying to bring that into the after-school program as well as our camp days. What's really neat about this company is we don't do anything. They come in and we just supervise. They bring all the materials, they teach the lesson, and the kids love it. It is for every single student that participates.
So I see in the contract, is it per class or per student?
So their rate, they charge us per student, and that's the max we can put per session.
Okay, so it's up to 30 students? Okay, so let's just say if there's 20 students, she's still gonna get paid the
same amount.
750?
Mhm.
Okay. Okay, and she is bringing all the materials?
All the materials. We
Okay.
don't lift anything for her. She brings all the materials, and there's 2 instructors.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that. Thank you.
I would like to add those, Ms. Magallanes. These are great questions, but we haven't had a lack of student interest.
Oh, yeah.
If anything, our challenge is keeping up with the student interest and keeping up with staffing. And, I want to thank Miss Melissa Navarro. I'm sorry I drew a blank there, and our HR department and our PC department, because it's been a challenge to keep up, because we're required to do a ratio, and we, by law and per our funding, we have to keep that student a staff ratio, and they've done a great job for us to be able to do that, because the kids just keep on coming in our summer camps, our camps throughout the year, wanting to be in the after-school program. So yeah, if it's there for 30 students, we're not going to have 20 students show up. We'll have 30 students show up.
That was my question for this item. Thank you.
Thank you. With that said, there's a motion. All in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0. 8, agreement between Calexico Unified School District and Unwind and Design Creative Studio to provide 142 acrylic painting lessons for the after-school program at all elementary and junior high school sites during the 23-24 school year.
So move.
Second, motion by Ms. Magana, second by myself. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. 9, agreement between Calexico Unified School District and Miriam Alvarez Navarro to provide ballet classes at all elementary and junior high school sites during the 23-24 school year. So moved.
Second, with the question.
Go ahead with the question.
So, I remember last year we went ahead and approved it. It was the first time, and I saw pictures about the program, and it's great. My daughters even attended. But I recall that I made a question regarding the tutu and the shoes and all that. Were we going to provide those, or is this business going to be providing it?
Ms. Garcia?
Good evening again, Esmeralda Garcia, Director of Expanded Learning. If the teacher requests it, we are providing them. We purchased a set to rotate because we didn't, we're on a rotation. So the kids get them every 8 weeks and we switch schools. So we never got to the point where it became more elaborate, and she's only one person. We wish we could replicate her because she is great. But anything that they require, she lets us know, and we purchase as a program for the students. We don't never ask the students to bring it in.
Okay, because I just want to go ahead and make sure if we're going to provide these. I was in a couple of events, and they lacked of equipment. So I want this to be happening on our schools. And I think it's great, but for us, if we're going to provide them, let's provide them for every student.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's it. Thank you.
So motion by myself, second by Ms. Magallanes. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. Number 10, agreement between Calexico Unified School District and Expanded Learning Program and Medium Alvarez Navarro to provide ballet classes at all elementary and junior high school sites during Sparks Camp in the 23-24 school year.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Contreras, seconded by Ms. Magallanes. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. Number 11, agreement between Calexico Unified School District, Expanded Learning Program, and Pine Valley Dance and Play to provide tumbling, hip-hop, and musical theater to all elementary and junior high school sites. So moved.
Second.
Second by Ms. Magallanes. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. 12, agreement between Calexico Unified School District and Corey Caston to provide school finance consulting services.
So move.
Motion by Mr. Pacheco, second by Mr. Contreras. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. 13, agreement renewal between Calexico Unified School District, Thomas Kelly Software Associates for expanded learning software services for the 23-24 school year. So moved.
Second.
Second by Ms. Magallanes. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. 14, agreement renewal between Calexico Unified School District and the University of California Agriculture and Natural Resources for Farm Smart Outreach Program. So moved.
Second.
Motion by myself, second by Ms. Magallanes. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. 15, agreement renewal between Calexico Unified School District and NCS Pearson Incorporated for the 23-24 school year for TEL licenses and professional development.
So move.
Second. Motion by Ms. Magallanes, second by myself. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. 16, agreement renewal between Calexico Unified School District and Adler Corporation for Legal and Consulting Services for the 23-26 school year. So moved.
Second.
Motion by myself, second by Ms. Magallanes. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. 17, agreement renewal between Calexico Unified School District and North Systems International LLC for quarterly swimming pool equipment schedule maintenance at the Calexico High School.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Contreras, second by Mr. Pacheco. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. 18, agreement renewal between Calexico Unified School District and Savas Learning Company LLC for ELIT license and professional development.
So move.
Motion by Ms. Magallanes, seconded by myself. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion
Aye.
passes 4-0. 19, award of request for proposals and agreement between Calexico Unified School District and Terminex for integrated pest management and emergency services.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Contreras, seconded by Mr. Pacheco. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion
Aye.
passes 4-0. 20, memorandum of understanding between Calexico Unified School District and Imperial County Office of Education Consortium Teacher Induction Program 23-24 school year.
So move.
Motion by Mr. Pacheco, seconded by Ms. Magallanes. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. 21, professional internship permit for Melissa M. Campos for the 23-24 school year. So moved.
Second with the question.
Second with the question. Go ahead.
How does the internship permit work?
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Ms. Magallanes. So the internship program for a candidate to be allowed or have the opportunity to be in an internship program, they would have had to already pass almost like the majority of their coursework. They're kind of towards more than half of their coursework completed, and this is one of the legal. It's a legal mechanism and allowed per, of course, by CTC and California Department of Ed, that districts, what they do is the university will say, this candidate, this person is in our university administrative program, services program, or a credentialing program for special ed or whatever. And if they get a job with you, right, we would allow them to be in the internship program, right? So it kind of goes hand in hand. They gotta have to be offered the job, and then once they're offered the job, then they get allowed to finish the program in an intern program, in the internship program through the university, and that's how we could hire them that way. It happens in all credentialing, administration positions. There's different ways of hiring people, but it has to fit one of those legal ways. You can't just hire anybody. They have to meet all the criteria. They have to have the university transcripts. They have to have a letter from the university. And so that's how the program works. We get a letter from the university saying, you know, if they get a job, they could be in the internship program. If they're in the internship program, we could provide them the job. So it goes hand in hand.
Thank you, Mr. Jimenez. I wanted to ask the question again.
Sure, no worries.
So with that said, there's a motion by myself, second by Ms. Paganas. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes 4-0. 22, variable term waiver university internship program for Zulma Rio Seco for the 23-24 school year. Motion by Mr. Contreras, seconded by myself. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes 4-0. 23, designee representation for Imperial County Adult Education Consortium.
So moved.
Motion by Mr.
Second.
Pacheco, second by Ms. Magallanes. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes 4-0. 24, rejection of government code pre-litigation claim Joshua Estrada versus Calexico Unified School District. See government code section 54956.9, subsection E3, Poway Unified School District versus Superior Court, Copley Press, 1998, 62 Cal App 4th, 1496.
So moved.
Second, motion by Mr. Pacheco, second by myself. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes 4-0. 25, adoption of revised job description, speech interventionist, principal middle school, principal high school, director of academic services, coordinator of instruction, CHS, coordinator of academics, CUSD, athletic director management, assistant principal, junior high school, migrant education program, MEP specialist, and coordinator of migrant education program. So moved.
Second.
Motion by myself, seconded by Mr. Pacheco. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. 26, quarterly report on Williams complaints and uniform complaint ending June 30th, 2023.
So moved.
Second, motion by Ms. Pagana, seconded by myself. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. 27, resolution authorizing issuance of assignments for certificated staff, staff developers, Title V California Code of Regulations, Section 80020.4.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Contreras, second by Mr. Pacheco. Resolution, Mr. Contreras? Yes. Mr. Pacheco?
Yes.
Ms. Magallanes?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Motion passes 4-0. 28, resolution authorizing issuance of assignments for certificated staff, Ed Code 44865. Motion by Mr. Contreras, seconded by Mr. Pacheco. Mr. Contreras? Yes. Mr. Pacheco?
Yes.
Ms. Magallanes?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Motion passes 4-0. 29, resolution approving and adopting best value procedures and guidelines pursuant to Education Code Section 17406. So moved. Second. Second by Mr. Contreras. Mr. Contreras? Yes. Mr. Pacheco?
Yes.
Ms. Magallanes?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Motion passes 4-0. Number 30, resolution approving and adopting pre-qualification process for prime contractors pursuant to Public Contract Code Section 2011.6. So moved. Second. Second by Mr. Contreras. Mr. Contreras? Yes. Mr. Pacheco?
Yes.
Ms. Magallanes?
Yes.
And myself, yes. Motion passes 4-0. 31, resolution approving and adopting pre-qualification process for mechanical, electrical, plumbing subcontractors pursuant to Public Contract Code Section 2011.6.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Contreras, second by Mr. Pacheco. Mr. Contreras? Yes. Mr. Pacheco?
Yes.
Ms. Magallanes?
Yes.
And myself, yes. 32, resolution regarding disposition of surplus asset, non-asset welding equipment at Calexico High School. So moved.
Second.
Second by Mr. Pacheco. Mr. Contreras? Yes. Mr. Pacheco?
Yes.
Ms. Magallanes?
Yes.
And myself, yes. 33, motion passes 4-0. 33, resolution regarding disposition of surplus asset, non-asset office equipment at district office.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Pacheco, seconded by Mr. Contreras. It's a resolution. Mr. Contreras? Yes. Mr. Pacheco,
Yes.
Ms. Magallanes,
Yes.
and myself, yes. Motion passes 4-0. 34, resolution regarding disposition of surplus asset, non-asset HVAC units at Calexico High School, 9th grade. So moved.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Pacheco. Mr. Contreras?
Yes.
Mr. Pacheco?
Yes.
Ms. Magallanes?
Yes.
And myself, yes. Motion passes 4-0. 35, resolution authorizing contract pursuant to Public Contract Code Section 20118, piggyback status to South County Support Services Agency for the purchase of 2 biodiesel school buses from Creative Bus Sales Incorporated. So moved.
Question.
Go ahead with your question.
Are these vehicles going to be battery operated or?
Yes, sir,
know.
they are. We are, moving forward with
Exactly, yeah.
the green initiative here in California, and we are also applying for grants for the charging stations, and so we are, getting these battery operated buses or electric vehicle buses for clean energy.
It's the way to go. Thank you.
Sounds good. So there's a motion. Mr. Contreras?
Yes.
Mr. Pacheco?
Yes.
Ms. Magallanes?
Yes.
And myself, yes.
Well, I'm sorry. These are biodiesels, Danny. I'm sorry.
So
I'm Mr. Pacheco. No, these are the biodiesels, not the electric ones. Correct, Danny?
and these are going to be the ones that are going to be used for the long hauls and stuff like that,
Yes.
correct? Because the battery ones, I guess they run out a lot quicker than the biodiesel ones, correct? And we need those. So that's the reason why I think we're going this far.
Yes, so we actually, I'll take everything I said. I'll retake everything I said back.
You were thinking about the future.
I was thinking about the future.
Down the road.
Well, and we are kind of thinking about the future because in the future, everything's going to have to go green, and there'll be electric buses are going to be required as well. One of our things with, taking our students for sporting events or different field trips or whatnot, through the mountain pass to San Diego, right now the electric buses won't cover that range, or the steep, incline or the mountain pass. So we want to be able to get newer biodiesel buses so that we could continue providing those opportunities and experiences to our students, while the electric buses catch up in technology and are able to take us to a 200, 300 mile range and back.
Yeah.
So I
So-
apologize about that
So if we
too.
could go back and put white out on that one.
Yes,
response
please
that he
put,
said, we'll be good.
Put white
Motion, motion passes 4-0. 36, certificated employment report.
It was a resolution.
No, the resolution we already voted
Oh,
on. It was approved 4-0. So certificate employment report, any additions or as is?
We do have one. We would like to ask for the board to approve the certificated employment report, but ask the board to remove Appendix F, Avid Coordinator, not to exceed the 2,200 per employee, and that would be for Lopez Jennifer at Calexico High School, Avid Coordinator. Approve the report as is by removing that Appendix F.
So moved. Second by Mr. Contreras. All those in favor, please state aye.
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 Motion passes 4-0. 37, classified employment report.
Approve as is.
Make a motion to approve.
So move. Second.
Second by Mr. Pacheco. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. And let me see, announcement of actions taken in closed session, N, because L and M, we're not going to go into closed session, we're going to go to N.
Yes, sir. So we do have one more readout from closed session. That in closed session on a motion of trustee Enrique Alvarado, seconded by trustee Carlos Contreras, the board approved a resignation and release agreement between a classified grounds maintenance worker 2 and the district by a vote of 4-0 with Mr. Lorenzo Calderon absent today.
Thank you for that. O, do I have an adjournment? Motion for adjournment?
So move.
Second by myself. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. Thank you, and have a good rest of your evening.